Hi, everyone. My name is Gina D'Onofrio, and this is my final presentation for the class Current Trends in Instructional Technology. In this presentation, I'll be going over the following: my vision of the future classroom, a vision of emerging technology, specifically Web 2.0, the benefits and concerns of Web 2.0, as well as recommendations for educational technologists. As a current teacher for one of the largest e-learning providers in the United States, who also has an extensive background teaching at the most economically disadvantaged schools in Hillsborough County, I've experienced many of the technologies that we've discussed in this class firsthand. While this has assisted me with my studies, I'm also way more aware of the limitations and hurdles these innovative tools present. When idealizing the future of classroom teaching, it's important to take into context the varying levels of ability that students bring to the table, as well as the level of accessibility they have to the internet and varying technologies. Due to this, my vision of the future classroom contains 4 different perspectives. Number 1, creating inclusive classroom environments for students of all abilities. Number 2, one-to-one technology in all schools. Number 3, eliminating standardized assessments. And number 4, shifting focus to adaptive progress monitoring curriculum tools. Due to my experience teaching with students with exceptionalities, my idealized future classroom would allow for learners of all levels to be in a classroom with each other, allowing for interaction with technology, peers, and their instructor, all while learning the same concepts in a differentiated learning style. Based on this framework, my vision for the future classroom is based in social constructivism, which focuses on the learner as a participant in a sociocultural process of learning. Social constructivism allows for learners to collaborate in all aspects of the classroom with technology, peers, and their instructors. This vision differs from the current state of education by picturing each school containing one-to-one technology, meaning each student would have either a tablet or a laptop, allowing them to access educational programming and internet-based assessments, and allowing an inclusive classroom environment where students of all levels collaborate with each other to grow in their learning. 70% of students report higher grades and better attendance in active learning environments that utilize technology. Schools that utilize more technology in the classroom report higher learning outcomes than those that don't. And 92% of teachers report wanting to utilize more technology in their lessons than is accessible to them. Presently, formal assessment is the force that drives all teaching in traditional public and charter schools. These assessment scores not only determine whether students are promoted or retained, but also provide substantial data on how schools are performing and whether their teachers are effective in their practice. While these assessments provide useful data points and allow for quantitative reflection, schools with students who are economically disadvantaged historically and habitually perform lower than schools with predominantly middle or high socioeconomic groups of students. These assessments also do not take into consideration varying levels of populations of students with exceptionalities. Modified assessments are only available to students with documented intellectual or cognitive disabilities, and these measures are all created with the general education population at the forefront. One way to alleviate the inequalities in standardized assessment is to eliminate them completely, replacing them with educational programs that utilize AI-supported learner as collaborator formatting. In this model of AI technology, AI dynamically presents and optimizes content based on information that is presented to the AI system by the learner. By utilizing adaptive assessment programming, schools and districts can focus on specific student growth rather than how they perform on standardized assessments that are historically inaccessible to large groups of student populations due to specific verbiage utilized in higher level questioning. Focusing on student growth rather than response to standardized questioning allows for more accurate depiction of teacher performance, as it demonstrates how each individual student has grown in their abilities throughout the academic year, rather than demonstrating how successfully teachers prepared students for particular assessments. Some examples of adaptive learning styles are iReady, Prodigy, and I Know It. All of these programs pre-test the students gathering a level of their ability. This then adapts the curriculum to create lessons that are on each student's individual level and grow in their complexity as the student demonstrates their ability to move into higher order concepts. This specific presentation is going to focus on Web 2.0. We will be discussing what Web 2.0 is, specific examples of Web 2.0, as well as how to effectively utilize Web 2.0. So what exactly is Web 2.0? While many emerging technologies may be applicable and useful in my vision for the future of education, Web 2.0 platforms would allow students the opportunity to interact with the content they're learning in class by applying and demonstrating their knowledge via online platforms. By definition, Web 2.0 tools are free digital programs that can be used for creating and sharing student-generated projects and products. Web 2.0 tools also fall under the connectivist learning theory in the sense that it allows learners to determine the content of learning, determine who can participate, and how they will communicate. This tool allows students to contribute to the internet community, share their perspective, and learn from students globally. Some examples of Web 2.0 are communities, the internet, networking, blogs, social media, video sharing, and interactivity. 3 different examples of Web 2.0 are Padlet, WordPress, and Wikispaces. Padlet is an open forum style website where learners can share topics and comment on others' ideas. WordPress is a blog style website where students and teachers can share information and content as well as links and resources. And Wikispaces is a writing platform resource where students and teachers can access and work on writing assignments collaboratively. Today specifically, I'm going to be focusing on Padlet. Padlet offers a gallery containing many different topics such as wonders of the world, climate change, and also specific novel discussion questions. The reason Padlet is such a wonderful example of Web 2.0 that can be utilized in the classroom is that there are safety tools available to the creator of each Padlet that filters out profanity and also allows the creator to require approval of pending posts. So inappropriate and irrelevant comments can be disregarded from the ongoing discussions. You can also password protect your Padlet, so teachers can utilize this tool for only their classroom, or entire departments within a school or district can utilize a Padlet without input from other Padlet users across the globe. Effectively using Web 2.0 tools is not as difficult as people may think. Students can complete their assignments on their district's learning management system, but utilize their Web 2.0 programs to collaborate with peers. Teachers are able to assign more innovative assignments that require students to comment on peers' work, and also utilizing Web 2.0 will enhance the learner's knowledge of how to properly navigate the internet and become technologically literate. Presented on the screen is a screenshot of an example of a Padlet on Great Gatsby discussion questions. This is an open Padlet for students across the globe to input their discussion questions and respond to them via this Padlet. My vision for the future of education would ideally utilize these Web 2.0 programs as a means of discussion and also a means of preparing students for their future endeavors in college, trade school, or more. With these higher levels of research skills, students are opening their capabilities of exploring topics that interest them, which may assist in increasing intrinsic motivation within the classroom. There are both benefits and limitations of Web 2.0. Web 2.0 is a tool that most students have already experienced unknowingly, which allows the navigation of these websites to be more fluid and understandable for learners. Due to the highly accessible nature of Web 2.0, teaching students how to utilize them for academic purposes should not be difficult. Rather, maintaining their focus on the website is what may cause the instructor a bit more strife. One of the concerns when using Web 2.0 tools and other internet distractions are other internet distractions that students are susceptible to when they're maneuvering throughout the web. One way that instructors can alleviate these distractions are by applying web filters to their classroom devices or programming the Wi-Fi to block certain websites that are not educational. However, when blocking websites, the instructor must take into consideration that certain Web 2.0 websites may be coded as social media or open forum, which would often be blocked on school internet. One specific program that I utilized when I have been teaching in brick and mortar schools was called ScreenWatch. This program was paid for by the district and allowed the teacher to view every student's laptop screen. It also gave the instructor permission to close out web pages that students are on, block websites in the moment, or direct students to specific websites. As a special education teacher with a class of students who are incredibly distractible, this program was a game changer. One of the main benefits of Web 2.0 tools is the ability for students to collaborate with their peers and other learners on the internet. This is simplified due to the user-friendly nature of these websites. Most students in classrooms today have grown up with the internet and social media, therefore navigating these websites is second nature to them. Teaching students to utilize these websites for academic purposes can assist in the overall structure of a classroom. Instead of having a whole group class discussion aloud, teachers can assign the students an open-ended discussion on an open forum-based website and ask that students abide by guidelines with their posting. This makes grading discussions easier, and it also allows for more timid or soft-spoken students the ability to participate without needing to speak publicly. Having students participating in online discussion forums gives students preparation for a college or trade school, as most of these establishments utilize discussion boards as a means of participation for grading. Like other technological resources, accessibility is a main concern when it comes to Web 2.0 programs. Students who are not native English speakers may have a difficult time formulating their thoughts into written word in discussion posts or open forums, and are therefore placed at a disadvantage. These websites also must take students with varying exceptionalities into consideration, and instructors must choose which programs they use wisely in order for them to be accessible for each student. For example, Padlet is a great tool for online forums, but if a student with a vision impairment is unable to utilize a text-to-speech option on the website, they're completely excluded from the activity and experience. Overall, these Web 2.0 tools do provide benefits to students, such as collaboration and experience navigating the internet in an academic manner. Many of the limitations mentioned for Web 2.0 tools are also limitations for every other technological resource that can be utilized in the classroom. Ultimately, it's the instructor's responsibility to ensure that they are employing this tool properly and monitoring student involvement and participation closely as to prevent distractions. Instructors need to perform due diligence when researching these tools to assure that each student in their class will be able to access the Web 2.0 tool easily and efficiently. One of the main recommendations I suggested in my vision for the future of education is eliminating standardized assessments as a whole and moving toward a more AI-based method of growth and progress monitoring for students. In order for districts and states to adopt this idea, substantial programs need to be developed that can access students without the intense higher order questioning being thrown at students initially. Programs like iReady have been developed to adapt to student progress, but this program is meant to assess only their reading skills. It would be beneficial for educational technologists to consider formatting curriculum in this manner to also allow students to learn imperative topics in their classes and challenge themselves, while also allowing them to understand the topics they're learning about. For example, I have about 40 kids with exceptionalities on my caseload. My students read anywhere from a kindergarten level to an 8th grade level. It's almost impossible as a teacher to differentiate lessons for each individual student, but an AI-supported learner as collaborator program, which is designed to adapt to student ability, would be able to adjust curriculum in an individualized manner. Along with the idea of adaptive curriculum, there needs to be an intense focus on student growth data if states and districts are going to move away from traditional standardized testing. Studies have shown that progress monitoring not only allows teachers to reflect on their teaching, it also allows students to practice metacognition in their awareness of their own performance. This progress monitoring of student data should involve the student via data chats to allow the student to visualize their own progress. When students are cognizant of their performance, they become more motivated to succeed. This demonstrates both intrinsic and extrinsic motivation by allowing students to feel pride in their achievements while also encouraging them to keep their progress in an upward motion. States and districts can feel confidence in their schools and teachers via consistent data collection that can be simplified with the usage of adaptive curriculum that stores student data. It'll be simple for teachers to monitor growth or stagnancy of students, as well as identifying students who require remediation in specific instructional areas. Eliminating standardized assessments is certainly an uphill battle. There are hurdles that will need to be crossed, such as financial consequences, social disagreement, and next steps. These hurdles will be easier to pass with the initiation of adaptive curriculum that allows students to learn at their own level while being challenged to continue in their growth. Teachers and parents agree that teaching to the test is an unreliable method of teaching, and oftentimes students decline in their skills due to lack of motivation. Providing students with individualized learning will not only impact student growth, but student motivation and intrinsic belief within themselves. Please see these resources and references to cite all of the data points that were mentioned in this presentation. Thank you very much.